What's up and welcome back to my channel. It's JVceo. Today's not a JVceo reacts video, even though it's almost like a question I'm posing to you guys. However, I thought I'd cover it, especially as we're going into a new year. Everyone's setting targets. Obviously, I'm not sure if the setting target video has come out before this. It should have already. But everyone's setting targets and everyone wants to know, look, how do I move forward? How do I take advantage? How do I move the furthest over the shortest period of time, you know? Firstly, I don't believe there's any shortcuts in life. However, I believe that there are cheat codes. And the cheat code that I want to discuss today is either getting like a coach or mentor, whatever you want to call it. In fact, I don't even know the difference between a coach and a mentor, because I use both in the same sort of phrases and so on and so forth. So that's what I want to cover in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. In my opinion, I think coaches, mentors are great. They're a fantastic way of moving yourself forward, but we're going to look into that a bit deeper. We're going to obviously try and clarify what a coach or mentor can help you do. Then we're going to talk about how to potentially find one, especially finding one that aligns with what you're trying to do, how you could potentially benefit from one, and then also talk about what my plans are, because I may be going into that space. I get a lot of requests for it, and you know, every now and again, very sparingly, I will do it every now and then. But I may be going into it properly, depending on how much I can actually clear my diary, which, anyways, we'll be talking about later on. So the question is, should you get a mentor? Well, that depends on you as an individual. You have to understand yourself as an individual. What makes you tick? That's number one. Like me, for example, I'll give you an example, right? I'm super self-motivated. I don't think that I need a mentor, right? However, that's just generically speaking. In regards to certain areas, I do need a mentor, and I have had a mentor before. So even someone like me who is extremely sharp, knows what they're doing, I still need a mentor. When I worked a 9 to 5, I had a mentor. In the business field, I've got a mentor. Mentors could be, you know, just people that you look up to, or people that you actually specifically assign that mentor sort of role to, if that makes any sense, or that coach role to, in the sense of via, you know, exchanging money, paying for their services, or whatever the case may be. But I do think that at every point in your life, you need a mentor to help you elevate to the next level. You need someone external to put in the checks and balances in place for you, and also to help you measure out your results and make sure that you're moving in the right direction. Because what happens in life, sometimes it's easy to just be moving in a circle. And sometimes our mind tricks us and makes us believe that we're actually progressing through life, but we're not. Now, when you have an outsider looking in, whose job is essentially speaking to make sure you're moving forward, they will track your progress and they would be able to tell you, right, this is not it. We need to change the trajectory here and there. Moving on from that, I'm going to clarify something, right? So sometimes you don't have to necessarily go and pay for a mentor or a coach. If you're in the right environment, if you're in the right network, it may be the case that someone within that network is already where you want to be. So, you know, you could almost marry onto that person and then they could be your mentor, even though they're your friend or associate, whatever the case is. Other times you have to go and dig and find an external mentor. I don't think that there's a right or wrong approach. I'll give you an example. I have a mentor in the property game, right? He owns, if I'm correct, around 150 commercial properties. Like he's a multi-millionaire. Like I met him in Hertfordshire about 4 years ago in a boxing sort of taekwondo gym, and he was training. We linked up. He loved my energy. He goes, look, bro, you're so young and like you know you're full of life, and you remind me of what I wasn't doing when I was your age. Come under my wing, come to the office, and that was it. From there, got a mentor, you know. So I was lucky in that sense. I didn't have to go and pay someone. However, sometimes you may just have to do that. Now, moving on from that, how do you find a mentor? How do you find a mentor? Because I think we're in an age where people talk a good game, or what's another way of explaining that? People are very good theoretically at certain things with no practical experience. So I'll give you an example. People are talking properties, but they don't buy properties themselves. Or people are talking success, but they don't have success themselves. I feel like you could only, that's not, let's rewind a bit, right? Because I've got to be politically correct here. That's not to say that you should disregard the opinions of people who are giving you opinion on something they're not doing. That's not necessarily true, because there are some wise heads that, you know, I'll give you an example. If you talk about in the context of a war, you know, all the generals, sometimes the generals, I might be wrong, but sometimes the generals might have risen through ranks in a different way, and they may not have really always been on the battlefield, if that makes any sense. Or it could be, let's change it. Let's talk about, let's say, retail. You might have a manager that has just graduated from uni and got straight to a graduate role in terms of a manager. Whereas someone that has worked and worked and worked and worked their way up is still not a manager yet. Because to be honest, there are people that, you know, they may not have had the practical experience in certain fields, but they're very, very knowledgeable. And I'm not trying to write those people off. So that's why I said I have to be politically correct. But me personally, in my opinion, when you seek for a mentor, when you look for a mentor, you need to find someone that you could emulate. You need to find someone that is within the field, or has certain qualities that you're looking for. An example being, if you're struggling to motivate yourself, how motivated is that person? If you're trying to get into properties, or let's say you're just not where you want to be in life, you've just been made redundant, how successful is that person in their personal life? Because no offense, if you're being made redundant, would you go and find a mentor who's also being made redundant? Not really. You know, oh, you know what? You feel like you've got the entrepreneurial spirit in you. How could you find a mentor that aligns with that energy right there? Because if that's the case, and you're going to go find a mentor that maybe works a 9 to 5 and is happy to give their whole life to a 9 to 5, then you're not concerns, your approach and just your energy and just your outlook on things isn't aligned with that person. So that's why I always say, try and find someone with both theoretical and a practical knowledge. So whether that's property, whether that is just life in general, which is what I get the most sort of requests on in terms of the mentoring side of things. Try and find someone that really aligns with your energy. And sometimes you can clock those people from an instant. An example being just their energy, the way they communicate with people. They're very good communicators as well, mentors. The way they communicate with people, the way their brain works, the way they work in a social circle. Now, what we're going to talk about is how you could potentially benefit from one. Like I mentioned already, right? Mentors could elevate you to new heights, and that's the God's honest truth. I'll give you some examples, right? I have a few people on Snapchat, a few people that watch the YouTube videos whenever I post. If you go through the comments, you would see a snapshot of that. You would see, oh wow, bro, you've changed my life. The way I think, the way I look at business, the way I look at opportunities, and so on and so forth. And that there is rewarding, right? So that there is your benefit, right? So it's almost like I'm a mentor out there, even though you're not really paying for that service through YouTube, but you're watching it. I'm a mentor right there. So if a YouTube video is able to help you achieve that, help you change your trajectory and the way your mind works, or just watching me on Snapchat is able to help you achieve that, then imagine actually going out to find a mentor that works with you collaboratively over a period of time, whether it's a month, a quarter, a whole year, whatever the case may be with you. In my opinion, I believe that when you do find a mentor, you should have a start and stop relationship with them. And what I mean by that is, don't just go on and just marry onto the mentor and be with them all the time. You should start, let's say, a quarter, take a month off or 2 months off, practice some of the things that were in there, or some of the things that you addressed in the first quarter, still touching base with the mentor so that you stay on track, but have some opportunity to go out and be on your own, so that you see how much you're actually learning. Because it's easy to just be with the mentor all the time and have contact with him all the time, and he's pushing you through all the hurdles in life. And then what happens when he moves away and you fall back to where you began? That means you haven't learned anything through the process. So that's that for me. But personally, I think if you're looking to elevate, especially as a young person, you need a mentor. we're in an age where you need to start unlearning some of the things that has been taught through social media, through to society in general. You know, there's so many bad habits out there. Extravagant purchases, and there's so many bad habits out there that a lot of you watching this video right now are probably doing. So you need someone to counteract that. You need someone to, you know, start untangling some of those chains, man, because without untangling some of those chains, you're not going anywhere. And one thing I want to mention, not in an arrogant way, but we're not all created equal. I'll give you an example in terms of what I mean by that. 2 years ago, a distant friend of mine committed suicide, right? And when she did, I basically put up on Snap and said, look, if you're going through anything, just drop me a message, man. I'm happy to talk. Some of you that have me on Snapchat know, like, when I've got the time, I entertain everything, man. I'm mad polite, and I'm a genuine people's person, right? And I basically said that. And I had a lot of messages, man. I was talking to people. People were borderline depressed and so on and so forth. And I thought, we're not all created equal. Because I can take all their pain, help them with their pain, and I've got my own pain as well. But I come out and I'm smiling. And you're thinking, how does JV do it? How does JV do it? Even my mom asked, how do you do it? But that's because we're not all created equal. And that's why I think that even in the mental sort of context, we're not all created equal. Some of us are actually born to be mentors, or to be coaches, or to be life examples, and so on and so forth. And you need to find one of those sorts of people and attach yourself to them. Now, on to what I'm looking to do. Depending on what my schedule is for the rest of the year, I'm looking to actually clear out my schedule at parts of the year and potentially collaborate with one of my partners in the US who is great. And we're looking to launch a new business which would cover the mentoring side of things. So like life coaches and so on and so forth, having regular contacts with you, worksheets and so on and so forth. We would have a mixture of both, because I'm very business savvy. Like, that's my angle sort of stuff. Just muscle your way through life. That's me. Him, on the other hand, he understands more of like the energies and the spiritual aspects of certain things, and I just feel like he tackles things from a totally different point of view. And I think that having someone like that on the team will be massive. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I go to him. That's probably another mentor that I have, if I'm honest with you. I go to him and he comes to me, you know, so we almost mentor each other as well. So I'm like, bro, this is the issues that I have. And he would say, right, did you know that if you put your hands together like this and you done this and you felt that energy, oh, right, can you feel it? Okay, that's why this, that, and the third is happening. Did you know that if you done this, you could untie all those energies? And I'm trying all of these and it's actually working. You know, so I felt like if we collaborate, you know, potential clients could benefit from both styles, in terms of my style, which is just raw, because I've just come up just raw, and his style, which is, I would say, in a particular field, probably slightly more refined. So that's that anyways. But going into 2021, definitely would say get a mentor. It's important. And keep an eye out. I might launch this program under JVceo, or I might launch it under a totally separate brand. But keep an eye out. Thank you guys for watching as per usual. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. To all those asking, am I going to do the mentoring stuff? Just keep an eye out. You never know. It just depends on my schedule. But we'll see. All right? And I think that's that for this video. And until next time.